Hey everyone, Reaper here again with another video. This time it's a special video. It's actually going to be one of two videos that was pretty much based off of the Great Legends, one of his recent live chats about being inspirational to the community. And I think that that was a really good message. I was actually in the live chat and I was able to watch some of the parts of it that I missed. And I think Legend really talked about a lot of good things about being positive and staying positive and being inspirational when it comes to not only the community in which we all belong to, collecting, and just in our personal lives. I think they're all connected personally. I think if you're positive in one thing, it really has a ripple effect in other things in your life, whether it's collecting comic books or your relationships with people. So this is, I have another one, another video I'd like to make, sort of based on this topic, but this one right here for this video right now, it's a lot of you know topic about inspiration, what inspires me, and stuff like that. So I'd like to start off with the Great Legend. I definitely think that he is one of the big YouTube comic book community leaders. And, with his truth videos and the things that he talks about, and even just talking to him in private, he's a very inspirational person. And I think that does have a very positive effect on, his fan base. It certainly has a positive effect on me. Um, I think he's just an all-round good man. And how could that not affect somebody positively in their personal life? But if we want to break it up to when it comes to comic book collecting, how is this inspirational? How is he inspirational? I think Legend, one of the things when it comes to collecting comics that I find inspirational that has come from him is the term "keep your eye on the prize." I think that's very inspirational. Now, Legend and a few others, I'll talk about them in another video. Really inspired me to keep my eye on the prize. I know what the prize is. Some other people may know what the prize is, but let's just say that my collection is, over the next year and a half, is being reworked and rebuilt into something from the inspiration I got from Great Legend and others. Like I said, others will be named at the right time. But I found that saying, keep your eye on the prize, is very inspirational and really puts things into perspective. So what does it mean? It's basically, we all like to collect certain things, and there's always something that you really, really want, or a group of things that you really, really want. And sometimes you have to make sacrifices. Sometimes you have to really stay focused on that, keep your eye on the prize in order to get those things. And I find that to be inspirational. And I think it's, it has a very positive effect on your life, on your comic collecting, and the way you interact with others, and the joy, and it also affects the joy of collecting. So I really find that term, keep your eye on the prize, very inspirational, and it certainly started to change the way I look at collecting. I know I'm being vague with a lot of these things, as I often am. But answers will be revealed in time. I have my list here because there's so much to talk about when it comes to this sort of thing. When it comes to inspiration, I just wanted to make sure I covered most of the things that I wanted to talk about without forgetting, without saying, "Oh man, I should have talked about this or that." Other people that I find inspirational when it comes to getting books and so forth. I think a lot of us watch these videos. We see haul videos, and we're inspired to get this book or that book, or somebody talks about getting a grail that they thought they could never get, and that inspires somebody to say, hey, maybe I could do that too if I'm willing to do this, that, and the other thing. That that is definitely, inspiration I look for when I see some videos. But other than getting certain books, watching haul videos, there are some people in the community that I have found inspirational for certain reasons. First one I can think about is Alex the Comic Book Hoarder. Yes, he makes haul videos and he gets a lot of great books and all that stuff. But what I find very inspirational about when I watch an Alex the Comic Book Hoarder video, it's not that I'm watching him because I want to see what awesome awesome key that he got this week or that month or whatever. I watch Alex the Comic Book Hoarder because I find his joy of collecting things, comic books, action figures, whatever. I know he has a guitar collection too. He was really into guitars. Like, I'm into video games. I'm not, as everyone knows. As you can see by my backdrop, you see my Xbox, you see my Sega, and over there's the PlayStation, which you don't see. Nintendo's over here, which you don't see. But just his attitude at collecting and the joy he has, or at least he expresses in those videos after he gets something, the way he shows it, I find that to be inspirational. His character is inspirational to me. Not so much the stuff he has, although he's got great stuff. I find the character inspirational. I don't mean to say character like he's playing a character, but like of the moral character of Alex the Comic Book Hoarder, from what I've seen in videos and from what I've gotten to know over the last year. We've talked several times, and I could tell the type of person he is by some of the conversations we've had. Another person that I found inspirational, really, the guy that really made me want to make videos. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but there was this one guy when I started watching YouTube comic videos back in 2014, in the spring of 2014. There was this one guy that was inspirational for me to say, maybe I should start making videos. Maybe I should start doing this. And that is Arkham Comics Las Vegas. He was previously known as Living Dead Comics. Dan. I like the things he talks about. A lot of the things that he talks about make sense. I get it. From grading books, his attitude toward getting books and so forth. I like his rants. I think a lot of us like his rants because I think he speaks a lot of truth, and that's the way he's always made his videos, as far as I remember. I've been watching him. I started watching him in 2014, and then I went back and saw some of his videos from 2013, 12, and I agree with a lot of what he says, and I found him very inspirational. Now, for the last group of people that I find very inspirational is Lightning, Hero Hunter, and Omega Shinryu Ken. They're inspirational because those are the guys that brought me into the community. When I started making videos after I would watch somebody like Dan or Cougar Comics. Cougar Comics was another one that was inspirational for me when I was, a nobody in the community. But the guys that helped elevate me in the beginning, a lot of people, I have over 1,000 subscribers, a lot of people helped contribute to my channel over the years. But the guys that, a lot of us, I think a lot of people out there have 30 subs, 100 subs. And when I was at that level, less than 100, the guys that helped me get, a lot of subs were people like Lightning Rich, Hero Hunter, and Omega Shinryu Ken. Those were the guys that started subbing me, and a lot of other people started subbing up to me that evening. And I credit them, for helping me, when I was, just a person that had 25 subs and like 10 views and all that stuff. Those were the guys that when my view count started going up and my sub count started going up, those were the guys that, gave me a chance. And I thank you for that. And I found that to be very inspirational. I would think that anybody that would be in that sort of situation that is given the chance, by people, say, hey, this guy's pretty good, that person's pretty good, sub them up, and you start getting those subs, I would find that to be inspirational to somebody who has 20 subs and say, hey, yeah, I would like to have more subs, or I would like to have more views, or I would like people to know who I am. I think that's inspirational. A couple other things. I know I've been rambling on for about almost 10 minutes now. Sorry. If you don't know by now that I ramble, then What can I say? um, Legend also brought up leaders in the community. I mentioned it earlier. I think he's a leader. I don't know if I consider myself a leader in the comic book community. You know, that's for other people to decide. Quite frank, I personally think I have many flaws that probably don't make me. That doesn't make me. Excuse me. That doesn't make me a very good leader. But like I said, I leave that to other people. The only thing that for me that I would like to try to teach people, because I enjoy teaching very much. I am a teacher, and I think I do it very well. Is to be happy with what you have, and I've mentioned that over and over again. You know, I've mentioned a lot of us in the community have mentioned that in videos, not just me. You know, I'm not the first person to mention that. I think you really need to be comfortable in your own skin and be comfortable in what you collect. When it comes to comic book collecting, obviously, be comfortable with what you have. Be happy with what you have. You know. I think when you are comfortable with what you have, what you collect, what you're into, that excitement, that joy comes through the camera and it resonates with people. And I think that's inspirational. I remember one time, I don't remember what video it was, Tito, Kingdom Comics. He was talking about somebody who would show a 1.8 book proudly. And I found that comment to be inspirational. For somebody to show a low-grade copy, and you know, you get people out there that pass their remarks about people that collect low grades or whatever you collect. You know, remember, you know, and sometimes maybe I'm a little guilty of certain things. I know I've been kind of critical in the past about variants. So I'm, like I said, I have flaws too. You know, so I may not be the best, person to be called a leader, but at least we can try to move past that, right? But I think what Tito said was, very inspirational. You know, if you are happy with what you have, people see that, and that really resonates and comes through the camera and makes other people feel good about what they have or what they want to collect and so forth. I've had people ask me questions about collecting certain books that were low grade, and I said to them what I would tell anybody. If you're happy with it, that's all that matters. There'll be people out there that will pass comments that, you know, this one's not as worth as much or that. Well, look, you know, they're not buying it. They're not buying the book. If that book is something that you really, really like, and that's something that you could look up at a wall, if you have a wall, or you pull out of a long box or whatever and say, wow, I can't believe I have this. That's all that matters, man. Right? It's all that matters. It's what you think. And now, if we're talking about what you want to sell it for down the line, well, then it gets a little different, right? But you have to isolate why you're getting it and why it's important to you. And if you do that and you show happiness, that's inspirational, definitely. What else did I write down here in this video? I've spoke to just one more thing about me before I close up, and I think it lends itself to what I was just talking about. I've talked to a YouTuber. I'm not going to mention the name of the YouTuber. He would tell me that he doesn't have a jealous bone in his body, for various reasons, blah blah, all that stuff. And sometimes we do when we watch other videos, other people, what they have. We get a little jealous. I think it's human nature. I, for one, have never really been a jealous person. I can't say that in my life I've never been jealous, so maybe I do have a jealous bone or two in my body. But most of the time, I'm usually not. And believe me, there's a point I'm going to get to. I've just always been that way, even as a kid. I've always been, in a world of my own, That's just the way I've always been. So sometimes I can come off standoffish, largely because I am standoffish. But, I've always focused on what I wanted to get, what I wanted to collect. I've just always been that way, But for me, what I could say in the same avenue of what this guy was telling me, he doesn't have a jealous bone in his body. I don't have an envious bone in my body. I don't, believe me, and when I say this, and I say this with utter truth. Now, there's a point to all this. I am not envious of anybody. It doesn't matter what money you have, where you live, books you have, whatever. Believe me, I am not envious. And that was something that was put into my character many years ago when I was 14. Now, for those that know some of my backstory, you'll understand what exactly I'm going to allude to. I have seen people of, that are well off. I've seen people that are, in better standing than other people. I have seen these people end up in the same place as people that are not well off. In the end, and I've seen the end many times, you're going to get exactly what the person of less, who has less, is going to get. And I'll leave it at that without getting too gruesome. So no, that's something I've learned probably too early in my life. So that's why I'm not envious of anybody. And you shouldn't be envious of anybody. So getting back to the point, enjoy what you have. Let that, and show it. Let that inspiration go to other people in your life. I think if that sort of thing, if you're an inspirational person and you're collecting, as silly this may sound, you probably could be inspirational in other avenues of your life that will affect other people positively. And that's what it's all about. It's not just comics, although that's what we talk about here, right? That's, pretty much what I'm talking about in this video, with alluding to other things every now and then. But I think that if you're inspirational in one aspect of your life, you could be inspirational in other aspects of your life that will improve the quality of your life and may improve other people's lives without you even knowing. So that's what I wanted to contribute to the Great Legends inspirational talk and everything that's involved with that when it comes to me. Be happy with yourself and what you have. I mean, I think that serves the greatest inspiration to everybody, and you don't necessarily have to be a leader to do that. You could be somebody that has thousands of subs, gets thousands of views, or you could be somebody that only has 10 subscriptions and a few views. It's for everybody. Be out with another video soon, sort of on this subject. Moving a little bit away, there's another person I wanted to talk about in another video. Hope you enjoyed this. Take care, everyone.